Yves, c'est le moment. Il faut réunir l'équipe.
Well, hello, welcome to Click Convention 2011. Sorry for the delay, the streaming completely pantsed up, so I hope everyone can hear us online. Looks like it's working. I'm afraid online we're going to have to just film the screen because we can't get both working. But without further ado, our first speaker is... Clickteam talk? Oh, yes. Eve.
So, usually it's François who speaks. I'm the guy who writes, so it's going to be a bit difficult. François wanted to speak about the current development we are doing. You understand? Yes. So, I'm going to do that. For 1 year, we have been mainly working on the exporters, as you can see. We have released the iOS exporter. Hopefully everyone is happy with it. We have released a beta version of Android and XNA exporters. Sorry, I'm going to be quick because we are late. And soon Mac exporter. Also, we have worked on the next build of MF2, as you have seen, we have integrated the HWA version into the main version, and we have also started of developing MMF3. François wanted to list all the new features of MMF3, but it's too long. So I'm fine with that. So I'm just describe the major change we are trying to do. First, MMF3 will be for PC and Mac, the editor. Okay. That's also we are changing the MFA file format so that it's open. No need to hack it anymore, Matthias. And that will ease the development of application by several developers. We will also add an extension manager inside MMF3, and developers will be able to upload their extension easily to the Clickteam server. Okay, easier to use for users and developers. Another important point. We are going to change the global object system to ease the use of object of the same object in several forms of application. I can give details yet. And the final important change: the runtime is going to be completely redone for better performance and to ease and speed up the development of extension for the various platforms. Okay. So that was quick. Did you understand me? That's quick. That's all what I wanted to see. So we have a lot of work in your plate. And hopefully everything is done for the next convention. Okay, any questions?
Can you repeat the last two sentences
About
of features? The last two features.
I need a better runtime that will work, that will be easy to develop on various platforms. Okay. Extension developers will be able to develop their extension on various platforms from very easy. Okay.
So you basically, we hope to do it so you write your extension once and it will kind of work on all platforms. So you don't have to write a Flash version, a Java version, a PC version, and an iOS version. So we should have much better extension coverage on all the runtimes, hopefully.
Yes.
These two guys to come and help you?
Sorry? No.
Want these two guys to come up and help you?
No, they are going to present their exporters later. Yes.
Yes. In terms of the built-in movements in MMF3, are you going to change the movements?
I don't know yet. I think it's a question. Take question on the last session.
Yes. Two questions. First one, backward compatibility.
No, it's It's a question for the question of the first question, so I will answer later.
Okay. Second one,
Yes?
multiple hotspots and action spots.
Oh, wait. I don't want to discuss the details now.
Okay.
Any question about the general development of Clickteam and no? No? Okay. That's okay. It's okay?
Okay, next we have Matthias showing off the Anaconda Python runtime.
Yes. What do I put my computer? Huh? Yeah, sure. I need parts. Huh? That's too late. What? Okay. Okay. Yes. Hey guys. Hey.
Hey.
Echo. Okay, great. We have echo. Hold on, I'll. So yeah, today I'll be talking about the Anaconda runtime, which has been in development for like 2.5 years now. Oh yeah, my name is Matthias Gier, alias Matt Squared, in case you know me by that name. Oh shit. Hold on. Oh. Yes. The Anaconda runtime. My side is there, by the way. So, to the guys who don't know, Anaconda is a multimedia fusion 2 runtime. It's cross-platform. It works on Windows, Mac, OS X, and Linux, and it's hardware accelerated. So it's fast, uses OpenGL, and that also means you can use like GL, SL shaders, and stuff like that. I'll show that later. And it's written in C and Python, like mostly C for the critical code and Python for the high-level code. So I presented the Python runtime last year. It has got a name change since that, but I consider the runtime complete. It has about 50 extensions and objects ported now, which is a like huge chunk of MMF2 extensions and objects, as far as I know. Yesterday I released a non-commercial demo of it, so you can basically make games now with Anaconda and it'll work, but you can't like use it to make money off it. And after the convention I intend to release a commercial license. How that works I don't know yet, but I'll get back to that. So I know a lot of you guys are like, I don't care, technical details, not funny, so I'll show off a few things it can do. There. I'll start off with a game my brother makes for the trench event competition. Ooh, I need sound also probably. Or isn't it possible? No? Okay, I'll just...
Sorry.
Hopefully this is enough. So yeah, I mean, for this game it works perfectly. Even though this game isn't very big, it has a lot of rotation, stuff like that, and it has like a load, level load feature and stuff that wouldn't work with like Java and Flash and even the standard runtime, because it has so many rotations that it will lag and so on. It works perfectly in Anaconda. And yeah, I'm pretty good at this game because I've played it 100 times. Okay, yeah. So that's the first game. Next up is Knit Stories. I'm pretty sure you know it. And it's also a game that wouldn't work at all with Java, Flash, etc. But it works perfectly with Anaconda. I'll just erase this, start the game. So the Anaconda runtime is like perfect for these types of game. And if I had a Linux machine here or OS X machine, I could show it off also. But yeah, too bad. But I'll try this on Linux and OS X, it works perfectly. It's a great game also by Netflix. But yeah, basically the non-commercial version has the snack screen in the corner, so hopefully that will make you buy the full version. Hopefully, I hope. Please. But yeah. Oh yeah, it uses OpenML for like sound. So if somebody wanted to, they could make an extension that had 3D like sounds, you could do that perfectly. Next up is a game called Lily. Madesh sent it to me like a few weeks ago, and I thought, whoa, this is a great game, so why not try it with Anaconda? Oops. Okay. Oh, how about play? Okay, there we go. But yeah, since the Punchman time a year ago, I made a lot of people send their games to me so I could like get all the funny parts of MM2 down. You'll be amazed at the stuff you have to compensate for. But as you can see, it works perfectly. Yep. Blah, 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 blah. Yes. Okay. And it supports shaders also. I think this is a great example. It actually supports like stacking of shaders. So you can play shader 1. This does like monochrome shader. So yeah, you can see. And then there's shader 2. And this is actually a demo scene shader. And I think I just thought it looked cool. So and then you can stack them. So you get like both together, monochrome and the demo scene shader. I'm pretty sure people will fancy this feature since the hardware accelerated runtime doesn't support this stacking. Yes. And finally, I have a game Niflas made. They approached me and said, "Hey, could you like make this game run on on OS X and Linux, stuff like that. So I said, yeah, sure. I think it's a great game to like show off how powerful Anaconda is, because it's actually faster than the hardware accelerated one time when loading levels and stuff like that. Oh, I went the wrong way. I think this game is huge, by the way. Okay. Yeah, the Anaconda one time is faster in this game because it captures images and stuff like that. So it loads like half a second faster or something. And yeah, I think it's a great showcase game. Oh yeah, no! Shit. Okay. Yes. Yes. Yes, clap, please. Just clap. Okay. Yeah, great game. I love it. Okay. Next point in the presentation. Yeah, oh yeah, the secret awesome game was this game. I forgot that. Also, in regards to extensions, I made it easy for extension developers to port their extensions, because you can now use this template maker script called convert extension.py, and I'll show it. Boom, 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 boom. Where did I put it? Tools. Okay. So you basically just give it your extension base. There we go. And then it makes a template for the extension. It has some weird actions. That's not the tool's fault. It's really, they made like silly conditions and stuff. I don't know why. But yeah, you just put that into Anaconda. Hold on. Extensions. Just put it in. Like that. Okay, and I'll insert my name. That's his Kelly. Oh. Okay, I can't scroll. That's a bit weird. Here we go. So, import base64. Return base64 base code. So next argument. So yeah, I'm just showcasing how you can easily port extensions to Anaconda right now. The extension API is really simple compared to like the normal one time. You just have like your actions created. This doesn't do anything, so it doesn't have anything to create. So this should work now, I think. No, wait. The code. Okay, and I'll. Oh shit. Stop. Okay. And I'll insert the base 64 extension. There. I'll insert a string. I just want to show you guys it works. So, okay. And if it doesn't, well, shit. Code, hello convention. Decode. Okay, and run. Whoops. Hold on. I forgot to remove this sign. And That was interesting, in my opinion. Yes. Okay.
But it compiles the extensions when you load the runtime, so you don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to like compile your extension. Basically, your extensions are Python code, which is dynamically compiled.
So in theory, would you be able to do some kind of hot swapping of the extension while you run your runtime?
Yes.
So
You can do all kinds of tricky stuff.
okay, should I repeat the question?
Okay. Yeah, you can do all kinds of tricky stuff because Python is dynamic and let me see. What have I done of tricky stuff? Like if I want to like copy functionality from another extension, I can just get the expression and like import it and do that kind of stuff. Okay, I guess we'll just go on. I don't know why it doesn't work. It should, by the way. Oh, and I have made this extension repository with all the currently portal extensions licensed under the setlib license, and there's quite a number of extensions. So yeah, okay. So since last time, what have I learned? Well, building for all the platforms takes time because if you make like one little change, it'll most likely fuck up the whole thing. Like a day before I released the demo, I updated the library and it messed up on their own OS 6, so that wasn't very good. Also, some testers are like particularly interested in testing some parts of the system but not others, and it's hard to get them to like test stuff that isn't very interesting, like the legacy extensions, which I had to test myself. Also, there are some limitations of the exporter API, the build SDK, so I couldn't replace the icons of exes and application bundles because I simply don't have the big icon. Yeah. I also called it AKA getting CC to do something, but that's, yes, it's hard to get them to like do something right here, right now, and that's obviously an obvious problem, but yeah, not an easy thing to solve. Also, most important of all, the name, I picked the Python runtime initially because it was written in Python, and I thought, okay, that sounds cool, but people didn't realize that you don't need Python to run this runtime. It works natively and all of that. So yeah, I changed the name for good, and I come back. So, any questions? Fennel?
Yeah. Okay. Can you hear me something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Question about extension swapping, right? Which you try to do with basic support.
That wasn't extension swapping.
No, but I mean with that sort of way of doing the extension from other commander. Will that extension be compatible with Windows, Mac, and Linux, or only work with Windows?
They'll work on all platforms as long as the code you use doesn't use like platform-specific stuff. Yeah, if you write an extension that uses Python libraries that are cross-platform, it'll work.
And if someone writes C++ extension,
yeah,
any dependencies from Visual Studio, it can be easily converted to Mac and Linux.
obviously, C++ extensions with like platform-specific dependencies, you have to rewrite that. Actually, I wrote a wrapper for Anders's, what is it, advanced game board objects. I can show it to you guys. Yes, extensions. There you go. Actually, it's Alice's original code. I just I wrote a wrapper around it. So it was pretty easy to port. This is it. And here's his original code. And I was like, no, I'm not going to implement this in Python. Oh. Okay. Yeah. I hope that answers your question.
If you write a paper, that's what city like, is it working? Or other platform, not.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
If you write a wrapper around the extension, it's working on other platforms, or not.
Yeah, it does. As long as your C++ code is, I mean, you obviously have to build it for different platforms. It doesn't do any magic to work, make your Windows specific compiled DLL stuff work on Linux and Mac. But I want to say to people that are bottom extensions to write in Python because there aren't any visible performance issues with writing it in Python. So yeah, unless your extension is like huge, I wouldn't even think about doing this wrapper thing.
Right.
Yes. Any other questions?
There was just one from the chat room. What's the cost of the runtime going to be, if any?
Well, it hasn't been decided completely yet, so I don't really want to say anything about that. It will be fairly priced, so I don't think people should worry about that.
Not it, but you list free version yesterday morning.
Yeah?
And there is on the website.
I should remove that.
Roughly about $129.
No, it hasn't been finally decided yet.
And so maybe just question, alongside commercial license, there will be that non-commercial one with the watermark thing.
Yeah, obviously, if I get your question right, yeah, obviously the commercial ones won't have this watermark.
And just question about FPS, because I was beta testing from the beginning, and we always had that frame rate counter.
Yeah, you can set an environment variable to make that appear, anaconda underscore show underscore FPS.
Okay.
So if you set that environment variable, it will show the frame count.
Okay.
Oh. Thank you then.
Yes.
Next up, we'll have James to show off the Android website.
Sorry. Oh yeah, it's down here.
I'm not sure I'm going to actually share it with you. Okay. And apparently, this isn't associated with anything.
Just drop it. You got it.
It's not like this.
Down.
It's not. It's not obviously not the drafts, but the PowerPoint thing.
Well, normal PowerPoint there.
No, it's not. It's not one.
This is something we can talk about first.
Did you do it without the best?
So sorry. Hang on.
See if I can send it in PowerPoint. Sorry.
Sorry about this. It works. From Jamie's machine to make things, so he's just picking them in.
Do you have open office on the It's not the even one. It's an old office. So it doesn't have the presentation thing.
Cool.
Oh, there's a missing slide. Okay, so last year I demonstrated the HTML5 exporter. It was a proof of concept really. You won't see the HTML5 exporter in MOF2. Basically, the reason it was developed was it was a nice way to build a browser game that would run on both Android and the iPhone, the iPad, and even on Mac, Windows, and it sounds like a really good idea. But the the HTML5 runtime didn't make it because we decided that since the canvas is very slow, and at the time it was quite immature, we already have the SWF exporter, which covers Mac, Windows, Linux, and we have a native exporter for iOS. We decided not to continue HTML5. So obviously that means we don't currently have a way to export to Android, so there's a native Android exporter in development. I'm not sure I'm actually going to be able to show you it, and there's a slide missing. But yeah, it lets you build Android applications, and it's a little. I don't think there's a way I can show you the exporter in action because of technical issues. So, but it's hardware accelerated. It's got a wide range of support for the existing Java extensions, and it also has a C++ extension SDK. and it supports Android 1.6 in graphic.
My MMF on here's got Android in it. It's not like Android. It's not like beta. Okay.
I really don't. Well, I'll take questions if there's any, but without being able to show you it in action, I don't really have as much happen. Okay, I've got to try and remote into my own computer to check. Okay, this isn't destined to happen. So if you have any questions about the Android exporter, Matthias.
What language will the extensions be written in?
Either Java or C++. The C++ SDK it doesn't have access to every part of the runtime because the runtime is written in Java, but it does have access to things like OpenGL, and it can do basic things like generate events, and hopefully it should be viable for quite a lot of extensions to use C++ because it's a lot faster. But yeah, the runtime's Java, and Java's the main language of extensions.
Okay.
On the Android phones, there are a wide range of screen resolutions. Do you know any way of making a game work in different resolutions?
Yeah, we have. It's a big problem, obviously, but I mean, we've tried a few ways to deal with it. First of all, we have the resize display to fill window, resize window to fill display size option, which means you can have the game scaled up or down. And since the runtime's hardware accelerated, there's very little performance impact. And there's also the option to keep the aspect ratio and just add borders. So also there's the option to make the application window fill the screen. So if you have a scrolling game, it will just display less of the game on a smaller screen and more of it on a bigger screen. So it works particularly well for scrolling games. I think Verius?
Yeah, so is there any estimate of when it's going to be released?
We're hoping to have a release candidate this October, and how quickly it goes, how quickly it goes from there to actually being able to buy it depends if we find anything seriously wrong with it.
As you know, started beta testing. Probably worth mentioning to people who haven't seen it that it supports all the features such as accelerometer, touchscreen, etc. And pretty impressive to see working. I do remember on the early beta testing that there was a question about multi-touch. How many multi-touches can you manage at a time?
I think it really depends on the hardware. If you target Android 1.6, there's no multi-touch support. If you target Android 2.1 or greater, you should be able to use the multi-touch objects in the same way you'd be able to use it on the iPhone. And I think there are problems with the multi-touch objects in the current beta if you're a beta tester. If anyone's watching this and they would like to sign up for the Android beta, just send me a PM on the forums.
On the beta version I was using, which until its play out of date, because I haven't been able to work on it recently, I don't think it supported the 3.x Android. Is that an option there?
I think it should run.
It does run, definitely.
Yeah, it's just no. There is formal support for 3. It's just we just have minimum versions, and anything above that will run it as well. So you can currently target 1.6 or higher, or 2.1 or higher, and you get different features.
Okay.
No one?
Maybe just one more question. Because there are some of Android devices they don't have hardware acceleration, and with performance issues with those.
To
I was also sorted out because my beta key expired 2 weeks ago.
To put it, when we don't support devices without GPUs, so you won't be able to use your cheap Chinese tablets or HTC Wildfire phones. But they aren't really manufacturing phones without GPUs now. Even the low-end phones have some kind of GPU, but we don't support the software for that, GL emulation.
So Android will be on different devices with hardware acceleration as the GPU.
Sorry?
Android will be on different devices with GPU.
Yeah, some Android devices have GPUs, some of them don't. And if there's no GPU, Android will software emulate OpenGL. We have conditions in the Android object to detect this. And to be honest, I'd recommend just showing an error message if you detect that there's no GPU on the device, because it's, well, the runtime's not going to work.
Just got some questions from the forum.
Okay.
Reese D says, will Android and iOS have native UI controls implemented like tab bars, UI WebView, etc.?
Well, currently we support all of the standard window control objects that you have in MRF2, such as the button object, list object. They're implemented using their Android counterparts. So where you have a combo box, you'd get a spinner where you click in, it pops up and select one. And we have a list and we have native Android buttons. The controls, the only problem is that if a WebView extension, for instance, which is something that MMF needs, was developed, I think somebody's already started working on an iOS one. Yeah, it wouldn't make sense to have a separate WebView extension for iOS and a separate WebView extension for Android. So really we need to kind of coordinate those efforts and make centralized extensions that work across all the different runtimes.
I think that's it. Thank
you.
Okay. We're going to have a short 15-minute break, so if you want to head back into the bar and have some tea, coffee, water, biscuits, and such. Thanks.
I have a question, because I'm basically a sound guy, so I mean a lot about the presentation about sound related stuff. So yeah, I really need sound. Yeah. That works.
About that sound, you want to sort out the sound? Chyba patrzę.
Okay, welcome back. Next we've got Lucas Darby with Jason. Give me a bit of a hand. Hello everyone. This is Lucas. Say hello. He's 9 years old and he's been using MMF for since 6 years old. So he's just got some games that he wants to show off. Come in, mate.
Hello, and I am Lucas. Today I'm going to show you some of my games that I've been making in MF.
So what's this one, mate?
This is just a like kind of video of last year, just made with a few graphics that I made. So here you've got my dad, Jason, walking around, and he can use a laptop and like use a screen. You can turn it on and off. So this is just an easy example of my game. Now I do other games, such as games that you've already sort of just made differently. For example, I've made a Lego game, which I think it's this one, I don't know which one it is, but I've made a kind of Lego game where you've got your character here, and just like this, and all that. Where you can jump in the air, you can go down, and stuff like that. I also do some graphics for games, such as copying pictures of other things, like a picture of an apple, as you can see down here. You might not be able to see that, but that's a picture of an Apple Mac. Now, I've been making a few videos for MMF. This is kind of a weird one, but just one I started to be making, and you can't preview it, but so this is an example of one of my videos I've made. I also have my own website, but it's not running yet. But I've been making a few games for it at the moment, but I don't know, it's not finished yet, but this is what I've done so far. So you're like in a room where you can't get out, and there's an advisor down there. Don't know how he got there. Hey, hello. But, yay, hello advisor. I don't know, it's a master blow, but now, you do this, you've got your arm on, you can like do that, connect the coins, go to this guy here, and buy some steak. Then you can eat the steak. Eat. So now he's just talking about just leaving, and that's a tutorial that I've done. I also have another idea for it, which is having like a games thing, but it doesn't let me do the game thing at the moment, but well, I also do like a painting program, which which is quite easy. All you have to do is use this, and you can have red, black, and all them. You can use fill, not the lines. The thing is that doesn't work, but and then you can use a rubber and all that.
You have a quarter game, Luke?
Oh, yeah. Well, I've been making a test of my Portal Flash version. Well, this is Portal 1. It won't have any sounds, sadly, so that frame won't work. Move that one to the end. But otherwise, you can play the game and, well, go like that. And this is what happens when you go into the nav one. So, and normally it would change, reset. Oh yeah, it did that. So you get there, and this is that little cube down there is called a companion cube or a weighted storage cube.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Any questions,
Finished my presentation.
Say that, Mike.
Thank you very much. Next, it's Anders with his secret project.
Sure. Awesome. Hi, my name is Anders Regissen. You know me as Anders from the forum. As you've probably guessed by now by the name of this finely crafted folder, you can see that it says Mac Games. So I'll show you some demos from the Mac runtime a little later. But first, we have been porting the iOS runtime to the Mac platform, so you can make native games run on the Mac. The main reason is we wanted to have an official runtime where you can, with the Clickteam support, and you can
pretty much export your games directly and it will run natively and out of the box. Let me just show you a demo. I haven't tried on this Mac yet, so I really hope it works. One thing you just need to ignore is that all text is upside down in the sense that the last lines are on top and opposite. It's just something, yeah, ignore it. It's a bug in the runtime. I suck at this game. The main idea is that you, in Multimedia Fusion, just select the Mac runtime export option, and you will just be able to save a zip file directly, which you can copy to your Mac and unzip it, and it will run out of the box. We haven't exactly done a beta for the Mac Explorer yet. We have some problems with zipping the file properly so they will run when you extract them on the Mac. Those issues will be resolved soon. So I don't know when we'll have a beta version for you guys to test. That depends on how well it goes. Extension development is also one of the things that you probably thought, oh well, oh great, another runtime, and now we'll have to wait for all the extensions to get ported. Luckily, if you already ported your extensions to iOS, it will be a snap of the fingers and you have the Mac runtime working. Another good thing is that extensions are easy to port from C++ to the Mac runtime because the Mac runtime supports C++ extensions. You have to compile them on the Mac though, but it isn't a big problem. You'll be able to debug your extensions just like you will on the PC. You can step through your code just like anywhere else in Xcode, and it's generally a no-effort thing to write a new Mac extension.
Someone's asking, will it compile on a PC? Will you be able to compile the Mac applications from a PC installation?
Yes. Well, do you mean compile the extensions, or?
No, if you're running Multimedia Fusion on your PC, will you be able to design the application and compile it there?
You don't need Xcode or anything to save your Mac application. You don't even need a Mac. You just export it, and you can send the zip file directly from your PC with MMF to your friend, and it will run. So, no, it's much nicer than the iOS where you have to compile it, but that's an Apple restriction. With the iPhone. So now we are around that problem. And if you don't have any questions, I'll just show some demos. Earlier you mentioned about text being upside down, but it didn't look upside down to me. Not upside down text, but the last line is on the top. It's some quirks in the differences between the API of the iOS and the Mac API for text rendering. Sorry? Oh yeah. It works like you would expect it to. You can full screen it, but there's a bug where the mouse clicks doesn't register where the are, so it would there. It doesn't exactly work yet.
There's another question from the chat room. Reese says, will there be extensions for... Will there be extensions for tab bar controls, Google Maps, etc. for iOS, or will third-party people have to write them? There's your answer.
Yeah. We already have some UI controls, but they are pretty easy to implement in the iOS runtime. So I don't know yet which UI controls we'll be implementing from Clickteam's side. They will be pretty easy to implement for third parties, but if there's a really high demand for special controls, I guess we can implement them. Depends. I don't know yet. For the Mac runtime alpha here, UI controls doesn't yet work. The screen begins to flicker and go nuts. I'm still working on that, so I can't show you any fancy, glossy Mac buttons. Romeo will have to do. I was better at this. So here's your good old click and play lovable games. You may quit now. Oops. Wait about that. All the games here are ported directly without any interference or changes, except I just had to remove the FLC animation because that extension wasn't ported yet. But otherwise, it pretty much directly worked. For some reason, you can't see everything up here, but any other questions for the Mac runtime? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to say, like, really well done, because in terms of the sound effects,
I didn't make those games.
Okay, then, alright. Sorry. But, you know, it's just like really brilliant, because in terms of decision making also, and how people also game like projects, like the sound effects are really important.
Yeah.
Functions, technology and stuff. So it really influences the satisfaction of the user and the user experience when the sound effects are really good. So
yeah.
I really liked it.
These games were from they were on the MMF2 CD, the bonus CD, I think it was. So you can, if you have MNF2, you can just open up the games and try it yourself.
Okay.
And I think it's library sound effects too, I'm not sure. The sounds in these games, they're not in the libraries. Okay. Want to see more demos? Otherwise, I have a few extensions to show off. Extension. Yeah. 2 seconds. There's a lot of cables back here.
Do you need a PC now?
Yeah. When I put this, just take the power.
That's fine. I can convert it when it's or the sound be converted to AIF now.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh, went to sleep, sorry. All right. Many of you probably haven't done it. Okay, I'll just show that in a second. I'll just start with this one. Last year I demonstrated a concept demo of an extension that could create flocks or schools or swarms of objects. I call it the flocking object. I decided to give it an overhaul here some weeks ago, and I finally made it stable enough and added lots of much needed functions and functionality to it. So after this talk, I'll release the extensions to the public. I just have 2 demos to show what it's capable of. This is an example of a school of fish just swimming around, pushing this bubble around. I added all the fish as objects to the flocking object, and the flocking object takes control of all these objects, makes them swim around and do stuff. The big bubble is in itself also an object added to the flocking object, just as I did with the fish. I just made it move slower, accelerate differently, and this is the result. You can make small, interesting game mechanics with this. For example, controlling these fish to navigate the bubble to safety without bursting or something like that. So you can make some interesting games. To demonstrate the amount of control you have over all these, I call them voids, it's a general term, I think. I made an example that probably wouldn't work that well otherwise. So you all know real-time strategy games. I decided to try use the flocking objects with the real-time strategy idea. You can select units, decide you go there, you guys go down here, and all these units will avoid each other and move around each other. it's a little quirky right now, but it's easy to fix. One interesting thing I noticed while developing this is that you can, let's try here. This is the heavy unit. They don't shoot or anything, but they move slower than all the rest, but the collision detection is the same. I decided to experiment with some features and completely by accident figured out that units could kind of like reverse like a vehicle. So you can easily fake tanks or jeeps or whatever in an RTS game like this if you wanted to. For example, if I tell this unit to go somewhere behind itself, it will reverse and turn towards the target. It's kind of like a 3-point turn or something, a vehicle. I didn't make these units do that, so...
What do the events look like for this?
Good question. I did a lot of weird events for... I used the pathfinding object. It isn't the best solution, but I make them... I can control units by attracting them towards a point I decide. And I just made it so each unit is attracted towards a point that is on the path to the destination. So whenever they move, they are just attracted towards the next step in the path. So this, all this code is for that. The pathfinding object isn't perfect, so I had to do also kinds of workarounds. But in general, if you see at whatever the events I call on my units, this is everything I do. I add the main soldier and the heavy as voids to the fucking objects. And I set their maximum speed, turn speed, minimum speed, different settings. Really simple. And the only other option I have is when each unit is taking a step in their movement, I just attract them towards a position I stored in an answerable value. And that is everything I needed, nothing else. And I have units who avoid each other, move in a fashion like this. I have them avoid obstacles. As you saw, I added these scorpions to the flocking object. I have no events for them at all, yet I didn't program that at all. The units push each other. You there. Go here. Yeah. But as you can see, we avoid obstacles. It's just a setting I put for the scorpions here. That's a global setting. It's really simple to set up. You set idle speed, minimum speed, maximum speed, etc., etc. View radius, avoidance radius. And turn speed depends on the current speed of an object. You generally want to use this option if you simulate cars, vehicles. If you turn this off, they'll just rotate without any effect on the current speed we have. And with this option, they just magically avoid multimedia fusion 2 backdrops that are set to obstacles. You control each unit's movement by setting these 3. These are the main factors. Separation means that how much the units prioritize moving away from each other if they are too close. I just this alignment factor defines that in general units want to move in the same direction as their local flock mates. Just like birds, if they see a neighbor turning, they turn themselves. And cohesion is trying to keep relatively in the average position of all their flock mates. So these 3 simple rules are everything that is needed to create a flock. As you can see in this bubble example, I only have these events. I set up the void type attributes and always attract voids of type 0 towards X mouse, Y mouse with a certain weight. And I want to chase them away from the bubble. And when they get too close, so they don't overlap it completely. And then I just make the bubble bounce. And that is everything needed. Nothing else. Really simple. And lately I also improved performance quite a bit, so you can have quite a lot of fish without impacting performance. And they all try to stay clear of each other. So this makes it possible for you guys to create some really cool effects, some that I probably hadn't thought of doing. But I'm releasing this to the public after this talk, so go nuts. And Rob, this version isn't compatible with the version you have. So, also, I'm also releasing the create by name extension. I didn't do a cool demo of it, but it basically allows you to create an object based on its name rather than picking it with the object selector. A lot of people have been asking for this, especially to do level editors. You just load up a file, say I want to create this object here, and it does that. You can use expressions for XY coordinates, something that MMF2 also can't do right now, other than first creating the object and then setting the position. It also allows you to create backdrops by name and set their optical setting. So in general, you can basically do a level editor in no time with this. And I will also release that after this talk. So, well, I did release it, but it wasn't public. Questions? Chris in the back first.
Is the flock object going to be just for the Windows runtime, and you can do it to others?
I will also port it to at least iOS and Android. I don't know yet about Flash because I have to rewrite big parts of it, and it heavily relies on being on the high performance stuff that you can get out of C++. Yes, you?
That was my question.
Okay.
You stole my question. The turning options version I have right now, you have a choice to be directional or rotational.
Yes.
Is that still the case?
Yeah.
And can you choose how many directions? So let's say we've got a four-way movement. Would you be able to cut it down? Or is it
the angles and positions and stuff are internally all floating point in the flocking object. So you have unlimited angles, but it just sets the visual angle of the objects to whatever it has. You have these options. The bubble in this example used the don't rotate because that would just look silly. But in general, if I can do all sorts of stuff. This is just simple. Oh, if they are too attracted towards the mouse, if I turn down the weight, it will, oh. Ah, I see. It's because I have several layers and fish on different layers, so only some fish will avoid the obstacle if I put it here. Ta-da. Simple stuff. Any other questions?
Okay, next up we have Chateau. Hopefully he's here. Yeah, talking about his use of tech products in class. Do you need the computer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was short. Any ideas?
What does it say?
Well, I made my presentation in math and it won't work.
What's the answer?
Yeah. Is it this one?
Yeah.
This is full of administrator. Try it there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Wow. Okay. I'm here to tell you something about using Click products in class. I'm a high school teacher, and this is where I work. Looks even nicer on the inside. The nice thing about my school is that we try to be special with something we call modules. I'm not sure if that's the right translation, but we call it that. And it means that the students between 12 and 15 years old get to sign up for classes that they normally don't have at school. So things like music and dancing, art class, and doing funky things with computers. So they asked me, because I'm an art teacher and I'm young, so they figured out I should probably have some ideas. And I really wanted to do a game making class, but the budget was really tight. Schools usually don't have money. So I had to choose between using Game Maker or doing something else. So I did something else for a while. I did pixel art for a while, and then about half a year ago, maybe a little bit more, the Newgrounds version of the Game Strategy 2 came out, and that meant I could start Game Strategy class.
This is an overview of all the modules are like this. It's 8 weeks, 2 hours a week. And what I did was the first hour, it's 2 hours in a row. The first hour I would be teaching, and the second hour was working on the game. I first started with letting them design the game on paper. And 90% came up with a zombie shooting game, and the rest with a game about shooting teachers. So that's not something my boss didn't like that, so I try to steer away from that. And they ended up with a presentation of their game, and they could choose to make it alone or in a little team. Most of them did it in groups of 2 or 3. Yeah, I made some material for this. Some work here. That's nice. Nothing worse today.
Something?
I tried to open a PDF.
Oh. I think the computer has home. I'll just restart, so.
Yeah, this is a commercial break. Well, what I wanted to show is something I made 2 years ago. It's a little reader, a little handout with the basics of the Games Factory. And I printed it out for all the students. And I put a lot of work in it, and it didn't work. Because kids that age, they don't want to read. They look at it, and like, well, I'm not going to read all that. So all you need is the Games Factory itself. So what I would do is it broken?
You ruined it.
Yeah.